So now we're gonna look into the standard workflow example of using the standard procedures, like making use of certain functions such as arrange, group by, and all the other functions in order to find the mean or the average miles per gallon, grouping by the number of cylinders only for manual cars. Okay, so what we want to do first is we want to say, let us use the arrange function, right? So we want to sort using this data frame, and we want to sort by the cylinders, right? So if we can say cars by, and let's just say this, right? So we use arrange function, just to see. So right, so what has happened here is that we have just used arrange function to sort this data frame by the number of cylinders with its CYL variable, right? So now what you're going to do is we're going to group by CYL, right? So by the cylinders, right? And then we're going to pass in that one cars by, right? And then we are going to say we want to group by this variable. Okay, so here we're just grouping by the number of cylinders. Okay, and if we run this, could not find function group. Oh, that is because we missed on group by. And let us run this, and let us see how this data looks like, which is group by, and then let us look into this. So you observed here, so here we now have groups. Okay, so it has went on to group by this variable, which is the cylinder, right? So if we go here, you can see that this represents the number of cylinders, right? So now what we want to do is we only want manual cars in this variable here. So this variable, which is AM, so it actually tells us the transmission. So it's 0 for automatic and 1 for manual cars. So now we only want the mean miles per gallon by the number of cylinders only for manual cars. So in that case, we're gonna say here, take manual cars, right? And let's use filter, right? So now we have to pass in that group by seal, right? So this is the data set that we're going to pass in, and we're going to say where AM equals 1, so that means for manual cars, right? And then at last, what we're going to do is we want to find what? The mean miles per gallon, right? So this the mean for this variable, so this is miles per gallon. So this is the mean that you want to find, right? So what we're gonna do in that case, we're gonna use summarize, right, just to have a clean output, and then we say manual cars, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to find me the mean. So I'm gonna name this mean, right, and say miles per gallon. But I can also just name this mean and say this is going to be mean dot mbg. So we can also have that clean output, so that is named. And if we run this, we observed that we have find the average miles per gallon grouping by this number of cylinders only for manual cars. Okay, but if we were to perform the same procedure, right, using the pipe operator, so what you notice is that all of these functions, right, so all of these functions can be put together because they take data frame as its first output, and from the output that you're gonna get is what is a data frame. So which means we can be able to use what? A pipe operator, right? So how can you use a pipe operator in this case, right? So let's do this. We're going to say, first, remember, it's mtcars, right? So what we're going to do first, we want do what? Arrange, right? We want to arrange by this variable. We're going to sort, right? And then after that, what we're going to do is, so after that, what we're going to do is, we're going to do what? Group, right? We're going to group by, and then we pass on this also, right? And then after that, we did what? We said filter, right? When this equals 1. Then after that, what we did was, we did what? We found the summary, right? So we wanted to print the whole complete data frame, and we said min.mpg, and we said min, and then we pass in this. So this is exactly the same thing that we have done when we were using the standard procedure, okay? But now we are using a pipe operator. So first, take this data frame and you pass on this data frame to this function. So what we do is it would sort the data based on this variable, right, or this column. And then after that, it will output a data frame, right? If you observe here, when we used arrange, is that we had a data frame. So pass that data frame to this function where it's now grouping by this variable also, right? Then this also, this will output the data frame, right? We observed here that this will output a data frame. Now pass that data frame to this function, but now only when is for manual cars, right? So we pass on this additional argument to specify that we only want for manual cars, right? And if we can also look for filter, right? So this was the results. We only obtained only manual cars, right? Because this will return the data frame, just didn't run that. And then after that, you pass in the data frame here where you are now finding the average miles per gallon after you have grouped by the number of cylinders and you have filtered only the manual cars. And if we run this, we observed we are getting the same result. So this is how you can use and just play around with the pipe operator.